Hi there, you're watching The Appreciationist. My name is Peter Hartman.
Hi, I'm Valerie Soule.
And tonight we're talking about finding new ideas. Oh, sometimes I like the sound of my guitar. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I love it. Well, thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight. I want to say hello to my co-host, Valerie Soule, but of course to our two guests here, Constantine and Luke. How you guys doing?
Fine, I'm doing fine.
You're good. You got the facial hair like I have the facial hair?
Yeah, that's because I'm lazy.
Yeah, you know what? That's exactly the same reason for me. Really, really cool. We're going to have a fun time here. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about finding new ideas. Like, where do you get your ideas? Where do you get exposed to new content? Where do you, explore? I do my stuff online. I can imagine some people do it in libraries, but where do you go to find your ideas? We'll be discussing that later. I'll have a few things for you, but if you come up with anything, please let us know. But before we get to that, our first segment of the show is called "What I Learned This Week," and that's where I let you know what I learned this week. Well, this week I learned about, it was a concept that I had heard of before, but I hadn't looked at it for a little while, so it's fresh in my mind. It was called imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is this feeling of feeling like you're a fake or a fraud, and I read this interesting article where a person went into a Ivy League school, into a classroom, and he asked the classroom, who here feels like the school, let's say Harvard, let's say Yale, who here believes that the school, or rather, who here believes that they are the one mistake that the school made, that they are the one mistake that the school made letting them in? And 2/3 of the classroom is this common thing where people feel like, especially if they're given an opportunity or they're in a place of advantage, where they feel like they don't belong there, like they're the faker, they're the fraud. And you hear that with like actors, you hear that with entrepreneurs, you hear that with entertainers of all sorts. They feel like they're the lucky ones, and everybody earned it and worked hard for it. So it's a really cool idea. Definitely check it out, imposter syndrome. If you're an entrepreneur out there, you might feel like that sometimes. We get it into our minds that everybody else is doing way better than we are, and everybody has it together. And the truth is, it's not usually like that. And so sometimes when you can put a name to something, it makes it easier to deal with. Luke, had you ever heard of imposter syndrome, or this feeling of feeling like a fraud or a fake?
Not much, no. Not really, no.
Well, look, it may be something that that crosses your path, but or it may not. But yeah, look, you learned about it here with me on the show, just like I learned about it this week. Definitely something to look up if you feel like it resonates with you at all. Let's move on to the next segment, the most important part of our show, which is called A Moment of Appreciation. And that's where we look back at the past 7 days and we pick out something that we appreciated. It could be something good that happened that's easy to appreciate, or it could be something that wasn't so great but that we can see value in today. Anybody have a moment of appreciation, or should I go first?
I'll let you go first.
I'll go first. Thank you so much. Well, look, this week was an interesting week. We had Halloween, so that was a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't go out for Halloween, but I did see some really cool things. But what I want to talk about for my moment of appreciation this week is a project, an endeavor that I've started. So I'm starting an audio podcast it's called What If? And I'll tell you about that in a second. But I recorded 2 episodes of the podcast, one with Sam, the first one with Sam, and then the second one with Eric Abutbol, who led the meditation for our last event. He's moving away to Los Angeles. It was my last time seeing him, so it was good to sit down and chat with him. The episode with Sam is about half an hour, 28 minutes. And the episode with Eric was about 3 hours. I certainly didn't expect that. So it was a really fun conversation. So I'm actually really looking forward to putting that online, and it felt really good to record those conversations. And I'm looking forward to the next one that I'm going to be recording tomorrow with my friend Alex. And then I gotta record with people as much as possible. Just sit together and talk and chat and have such a great intellectual time. So that was my moment of appreciation. Sam has a moment of appreciation. She wanted me to let you know. This is where she is at right now, or was at just not too long ago. She was learning to make sourdough bread. learning to make sourdough bread. So she's letting us know that sourdough bread is better for our tummies, better for our ecosystem, the bacterial ecosystem that we live with. And so she's learning how to make sourdough bread. So I can imagine that in the next week or so, I'll be eating sourdough bread. I hope it doesn't taste the way it sounds. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, those are my moments of appreciation. Had a good time. Did you do anything for Halloween? Anybody?
Nope.
Me either. I don't know.
Me neither.
I think I've crossed that line. I don't think I even ate one piece of candy for Halloween. But yeah, anybody have a moment of appreciation you'd like to share?
Okay, I'll go.
Please.
Can you hear me fine? Because I feel like an imposter. You muted me.
I can hear you perfectly.
No, that's okay. One of my best moment of appreciation last week was actually working with you, Peter, when we fine-tuned the workshop that I developed for November 15th, actually. So it was a lot of fun. It wasn't easy at first because I think, it probably wasn't clear or maybe I wasn't clear with you or whatever, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, just like working on exploring the right words and everything was a whole lot of fun. So thank you for that. Really, I'm very, very grateful.
It really was cool. That was a lot of fun. The workshop is going to be great. Some great feedback on it right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working. I'm thinking about it every day and working on it every day. So I can't wait. I can't wait for November 15th.
We've never done something like that before, right? Like
No.
worked on. Yeah. So it was very interesting, very cool. Worked well together. Lots of laughs. So that was a lot of fun. Nice. Thank you for sharing that moment of appreciation. If you're interested in that meetup, it's online. Like you said, it's the 15th, right?
Yeah, it's full. More than full.
It's full, but if you want to tackle the wait list, you can go on the wait list. It's a really cool workshop. Key questions for living a life of empowerment. Key questions for living a life of empowerment.
And
How about you, Luke?
I'm working on the French version as well.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Good, good. Luke, do you have a moment of appreciation for us?
I guess I could find something because yesterday my doctor called and I don't know if you remember, but I had a biopsy recently for my transplanted kidney, and and I got news that I'm starting a little rejection of the kidney. So it's not a fun thing to learn, but and today I had to go back to the hospital to have some treatments to annihilate the rejection and things like that. But it wasn't as bad as I thought, and I had it many years ago with my first kidney, the same thing, but it was okay. The treatment was okay. Today, the nurse told me that I might have headache and vomiting or nausea and things like that, but I didn't have any of those things, because they gave me Benadryl, and so it's so it's that. So it makes me appreciate more the kidney that I have right now, and I think I have to be more careful and take my medication more regularly, and things like that. But so it still was fine, It's even though it's not a good news when you hear that you're starting a rejection of your kidney, but for my first kidney, I had 3 rejections like that, and finally I kept it for 23 years. So I'm not really too worried about that right away. But
well, I honestly, Luke, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I know that's it's I can imagine that's something very difficult to go through, and there's something, it's not easy, but it's something where something negative will occur, and it sort of forces you to recontextualize your experience, to be more determined, to do well, to be more regular, like you say. So sometimes, I mentioned that not all the things we appreciate are easy to appreciate, but we can see value in now. I'm happy that you have a kidney. I mean,
yeah, that's it.
I imagine it's better to have one than to not have one. Not going well, but like you say, you've been through this before, and we are sending you our warm wishes and good vibes, wishing you well for the immediate and for future.
Absolutely, and you have always such a great attitude about it, so I think that's a big part of it. It's a big part of your healing.
Yeah, well, I've always been like that, had a positive attitude and always thinks positively, and yeah. I'll deal with what comes when it comes, I can't do anything else, so that's what I have to do, It's even if you start crying or blah 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 or things like that, it won't help you. It's something, it will hurt you more, So you accept it and you go with it, and like yesterday when they called me for the treatment, they were supposed to. There's a few treatment, and they were supposed to treat me also with a pill that's called prednisone. It's a corticosteroid, but the corticosteroid is the reason why I lost almost all my vision. So I told the doctor I'm not interested to have the treatment with prednisone and things like that, and we discussed it, and finally he decided to let go of the treatment with this medication for the moment, because he said it happened a few times that they did the treatment without prednisone, and it went okay, so.
Well, that's good. I really like the attitude of sort of accepting sort of what is and doing your best to move forward as best you can, because really, I mean, it's the only sort of logical option. You can either stay where you are and sort of wallow and be miserable, and that's okay for any, if you want to do that. But then moving on forward mentally and physically with your actions are really important. So thank you so much for sharing that moment of appreciation with us, Luke. I know it's not always easy to hear stuff like that, but I think it's important for us to sort of acknowledge the full spectrum of our experience, and I think that's really cool. So thank you, Luke.
You're welcome.
Look, for What a Great Idea, segment What a Great Idea, that's where I point you towards a product, a service, an idea that is deserving of your attention, because whatever we give our attention to becomes a greater part of our experience. So I mentioned it earlier in my moment of appreciation, but in the next couple of days and this week coming, you'll be seeing our new podcast called What If. We deal with what was, what is, and what could be. So we're going to be talk about the past, the present, and the future. And in every episode, I ask people a question. I ask them a what if question, and then that sort of hopefully gets the conversation going. So I won't spoil what the questions were. You have to listen to the episodes. But the one with Sam had to do with food, and the one with Eric had to do with time. And so it was a really fun podcast to do. And I was actually also thinking about adding to the Appreciationist, doing an audio version of not an audio version of the Appreciationist, but an audio Appreciationist to run alongside the video, because I really like having podcasts to listen to while I'm walking down the street, while I'm doing groceries, while I'm whatever it is, traveling. It's really cool to have that. I used to listen to podcasts when I was working out and going to the gym and all these things, or waiting for somebody if I'm impatient. So putting on podcasts, listening to conversations, hearing real people talk was a lot of fun. So I was thinking of actually starting one for the Appreciationist. So if you think that's a good idea, let me know. If you think it's a bad idea, let me know. But I think it'd be cool to have some conversations, I think Val and I could do some really fun ones when we meet up. It might be cool. Might give us an excuse to meet up with everybody even more often.
Yep.
And of course, audio is so much easier than video. Here I have to dress pretty. I have to.
Yeah.
Fail.
I can go on without shaving my beard.
That's right. Exactly. Look, there's all kinds of reasons to go for audio, so I think we might think about that. But I'm excited. I want to provide some more content to our Patreon subscribers who are doing a wonderful job. Thank you so much for supporting what we're doing here. It really does matter. It really, really does help. So thank you for that. All right. The topic of our show tonight, finding new ideas. All right. I love new ideas. I love swimming and immersing myself in new ideas. I'm tech-oriented, but I like all kinds of ideas. Recently on the show, one of the reasons I do the segment, What a Great Idea, is because I want to give you a reason to go and look for things, whether it's a meat replacement called Impossible Foods, whether it's an app called PadMapper, which is actually now called Zumper, I should let you know, that allows you to find apartments way easier than you would have otherwise. I just love cool ideas. And I wanted to know, like, where do you find your cool ideas? For example, I use a website called when I really don't know what I'm looking for, I use a website called Stumble Upon. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Stumble Upon.
No.
No.
all you do is you basically click a button. You pick a certain set of interest, and then you pick a button, and it randomly shows you something that relates to your interests. So it's really cool. It's like you get to experience serendipity, right? You just press this button based on your interests, and they prop up random things that other people have liked. And so you're getting kind of curated content, but you're getting exposed to things that you might not naturally find in the course of your sort of online surfing. So I really like that. I like Stumble Upon. When you're looking for new ideas, when you want to sort of be exposed to something new, if you're bored or whatever it is, you're just surfing the internet, where do you find your good ideas? What sources do you like?
I don't look for them necessarily. I just, I think I've got my mind open for that all the time. I'm always looking for new perspectives. I love to hear people's stories and see how they see things. So that usually triggers stuff. But also I just go out of needs. Like sometimes it's like, oh, that would make my life easier, you know, if this existed, or sometimes it's like brainstorming with a friend, and then we'll just try crazy ideas, and then we'll start laughing, and then sometimes some stuff makes sense, you know. So those are some of the sources.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good thing to do when you're sitting down in your house or wherever you are. And we have smartphones now, so we don't have to be in our house to surf online. But you come up with you think about something, a need that you have, and you go, I wonder if this thing exists. I wonder if there's something like this that exists out there. And then you go and look it up. I think that's a great way to explore your mind and to sort of challenge yourself to follow your ideas, to follow your thoughts, to see where they lead you. I think that's a really cool idea to do that. I think part of what people do as well, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, Facebook. It's a really great source for people to sort of get ideas. I know Sam sends me stuff on Facebook all the time. She's connected to these streams. And I know, of course, Facebook has a lot of sort of distractions and garbage, but if you curate your feed, if you see people posting stuff that you don't like and you unfollow them, and then you follow and like the things that you like, you're going to get a stream of content that's actually pretty interesting. You've experienced this, Val?
Oh yeah, on Facebook. Yeah, now I love Facebook. I used to not like Facebook, but because now it's curated and it just gives me exactly what I like. And I found lots of stuff that were like, oh my God, I never thought of that. This is such a great idea. I've sent some to Sam actually, and I'm sure that we see some of the same stuff too. But it's wonderful. I love it. It's so inspiring to see what people come up with. I love it.
That's right. If you pay attention to what's going on, if you use Facebook, the full potential of Facebook, it's not just a place to go and, you know, chit chat and see what people are eating. It's a really cool, like, so many people get their news and information from Facebook compared to all other things. And for a huge segment of the population, a very large percentage, to them, the internet is Facebook. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Facebook and then other things, and Facebook is like the portal through which they connect to other things. Luke, do you find that Facebook is a good source for ideas for you?
Yes, I think so. Yes, very much. And since the new streaming thing there, streaming the TV there, you can go on Facebook and you can see all the people that are streaming live. You can click on them and see what they're talking or doing or blah blah blah. So something are really stupid or crazy, but others are interesting. You can see some conference and you can see a woman babysitting her 10th child and you always yelling after them or things like that. No, it's crazy.
It is, and honestly, we actually I used Facebook Live for the first time this weekend. We were having sushi. If you go to our Facebook page, Luke, you commented on it. It was really fun, and now with Facebook Live, you sort of like you're able to peer into the lives of people. You're able to get exposed to different experiences. I fell in love with Facebook Live because someone that I really love, Jason Silva, he was Facebooking live online, and you see really cool stuff and where he is. So yeah, you're definitely right there, Luke.
Mm-hmm. And also like YouTube, also all the clips and things like that, and you see a clip and then you have some suggestion on the right side, and you can find many things on there, and you can change subject completely when you click and navigate from one clip to the other, and you can start by looking for a recipe like that, and you can finish with a mechanical thing or whatever.
That's right, exactly. A warning: YouTube can be a time sink, right? You go on YouTube for just a few minutes, and suddenly you realize an hour has passed. But if you pay attention, yeah, it's a great way to discover content, especially related content. So you go look. Just so you know, YouTube is not just for cat videos and for babies laughing. It's also there's tons of great. There are conferences. There are great. Talks on there, and if you just sort of start in one place and you look at the videos on the side like Luke says, and you click on something that relates to it and you just follow that thread, you might click on a video and that doesn't suit you, but I'll lead you to a whole new batch of videos.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can really find some real cool things there. Val, do you use YouTube to find ideas, or do you go from Facebook to YouTube as opposed to YouTube to the world?
I go from Facebook to YouTube now, but I mean, I used to go to YouTube, and I still do, just on its own, just when I'm looking for something. It's usually when I'm looking for something, some information or some tutorial, or I mean, I know it sounds boring, but it can be very useful. But also for things that I like, on the law of attraction and inspirational speakers and TED Talks, and so yes, and comics. So yes, you can start with like one very serious thing, and then you can end up, spending hours. But I try to limit my time. It's like, okay, what was I looking for? And, got it. Okay, next.
That's right. Yeah, you got to be diligent. You got to pay attention to it. And I like what you said there. I love the amount of videos on YouTube that can teach you things, teach you skills, teach you things. It's really incredible. And I'm always surprised by how sort of the average person uses YouTube in a very limited fashion, where you can learn incredible things. I mean, I learned video editing from YouTube videos. I learned to play guitar from YouTube videos. I learned design from YouTube videos. So much of what I learned today, I was able to learn free on the internet with YouTube videos. And it's a great portal. So if there's something you want to learn, if there's something you find interesting, find a video about it. And then you have the TED Talks, like what Val says. TED Talks.
Yeah, that's very interesting, the TED Talks. I really like them.
Yeah, that's right. You have TED Talk. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment, and Design. And so you have videos on TED. There's TED.com, but TED also has a YouTube channel, TED Talks. And there are incredible ideas that you can find there. I mean, you should definitely check out this video, six ways mushrooms can save the world, with Paul Stamets. It's like really incredible. And sometimes I watch a video on YouTube, on TED, and I think to myself, I'm not worried about the world at all. I think the solutions are out there, and all that's lacking is really our desire to find them out. TED is a really great thing. I love tech-oriented things, so I watch tech conferences like TechCrunch Disrupt, which shows you sort of the new companies that are starting that have really revolutionary technologies. I love CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. You see a lot of videos on there. Forgive me, I'm just going to mute. Just remember to unmute yourself when you want to speak. So those are really cool things to, tech has to do with a lot of things. It's not just games or consoles or anything like that. There's tech that helps you sleep, tech that helps you to get fit, stay healthy, to connect to other people. So I love looking at those technologies. But there's one thing, well, there's two things I have to mention, but the one thing I want to say before I let you guys speak again is our podcasts. So when I listen to podcasts, I hear some really cool ideas, right? You're listening to a person just sort of speak, and they're referencing things that they've seen, products that they've tried, places that they've been, and that's a really great way to, through listening, to get access to ideas, much like the radio. When I used to listen to the radio growing up, and you hear these cool ideas, it's a portal for information. So podcasts, they're free typically, and you can go and use iTunes on the Apple store and get some free podcasts, and definitely those are a great place to get ideas. Oh, I think we just locked Luke. I was just about to ask him a question there. But yeah, so, and then the last thing I wanted to say was TV. Val, do you ever get ideas, exposed to ideas from watching TV shows?
Yeah, series that I like. Yes, sometimes they'll just have an idea, or I don't know, new technology that I didn't think existed, or yeah, definitely something will just pop up and I'll go, oh wow, look at that. So, but what I wanted to mention, since you and I worked with words for the workshop, words are like, that's very important to me. That brings ideas. It's like, oh yeah, I didn't think to use those two together, or I never thought of it with that. And how, so how can I explore that word and the definition, or how far does it go, and can I find the synonym? And so that too, it brings up ideas.
Yeah, that's right. Whether it's, sometimes I just open a book and I just point at a page, or sometimes I Google search something random, or I look for the etymology of words, the origin of words, and it leads me to new ideas.
Yeah. I've done this not too long ago with a friend of mine. We were at a restaurant and can't remember what the word was, but actually we researched Halloween, like really researched it, like, where did it come from, what was the first tradition, and then so we looked it up, and it was a whole lot of fun.
Absolutely. And what I love to do is, I love it when I'm looking up something and I end up on Wikipedia. If I get to Wikipedia, I can spend all day there, just following branch after branch. You're looking up Halloween, and then you look at, there's something else that pops up while you're looking for that. And then you look at the history of that word, and that pops up to something else. And then you find the origin of cultures and different varieties of information. And I just love following. There are times where I have like 20 Wikipedia tabs open because I'm just following. I really want to understand the thing. And so it's not enough for me to just understand it basically. I have to keep finding more and more connections to it, and I love it. So Wikipedia is another source. And then, so there's a TV show that I watch that's really cool for finding new ideas. It's called Through the Wormhole. I've talked about it on the show before. It's hosted by Morgan Freeman. It's called Through the Wormhole, and it's on television, and you can watch it, and they show you sort of avant-garde, the most modern sort of questions and ideas that are being proposed. So you can talk about anything from curing death to traveling space, or to new technologies or human behaviors. It's a really cool show to sort of expose you to new ideas, and you should definitely check that out. And then there are also shows that are not meant to be educational, but still expose you to new ideas. The one we talked about on the podcast this week was called Black Mirror. Black Mirror is this sci-fi television show. It's a dark reality. It shows you sort of a dystopian sort of future, but it's really cool because they use technology that is it looks a lot like it's an extension from the technology that we have today. So if you ever want to know what the future might be like if you never forgot anything, where everybody had an eidetic memory. If you want to know what it's like to live in a future where people can take a pill and raise their IQ by 10 times 10. If you ever want to know like what it's like to sort of live in a in a society where everything is gamified, the Black Mirror is a really cool show for you to be exposed to new ideas. So I don't know. I'm obsessed with ideas. I like to find them wherever I look. I don't only like to wait for them when I'm looking at a book or whatever it is, but even when I'm looking at a TV show. And I've talked so long that my friends had to go, and I feel bad about that, but not so much. I want to thank them so much for being a part of the show. I'm going to end this now and just let you know what's coming up on our calendar. So like Valerie Soule mentioned, she has a meetup on November 15th. It is full, but definitely go on the wait list. Maybe somebody will change that. There's actually a comedy event happening this weekend. My brother's performing comedy at I've forgotten the room, but it's a theater place. It's going to be a big show. I think there's going to be at least 100, 150 people there. That's going to be November 6th. So go on our Facebook page. You're going to find that soon. And then we also have, Samantha has a meetup, a group life coaching tomorrow called Love Yourself. So that'll be downtown. Let me see if that's full. It is full, and there's a wait list, so you might not be able to get into that one. And then this weekend, Sama has she's at a free community environment fair. Free community environment fair. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, that's Saturday at 12 p.m. You can find this information by going to meetup.com and searching for Self-Discovery Montreal. Self-Discovery Montreal is Samantha's meetup. You can find Valerie's meetup by going to meetup.com/TLOA. That's TLOA as in the Law of Attraction, MTL as in Montreal. Or you can just go to thelawofattraction.ca and click on calendar. I have my friend Luke back here so I can ask the very important question. What's for dinner?
What did I eat?
Yeah, so you mentioned souvlaki, and that made me hungry.
Today I came from the hospital very late, so I didn't. I just took a Michelino thing there from the freezer, and I heated up it. Stroganoff noodles or something like that there, so it was okay.
Well, no, that'll work. But you posted a comment or something about getting souvlaki last week, right?
Yeah. Yeah, my neighbor. Yeah, she just after the show finished here, I heard knocking at my door. I opened the door and she has 2 brochettes of souvlaki or things like that. And I had already eaten before, you know, so it was a big night last night. A big supper.
Not a bad time. Look, I had well, you saw what I had this week. I had sushi, and you can see me enjoying that on Facebook Live on our Facebook page. But I loved eating sushi. I did eat too much. I think I was just as full as you were there. But you know, I don't feel bad when I fill up on sushi. It feels like not a bad thing to eat there. Luke, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I'm so glad that you were able to be here with us. I want to thank Valerie Soule. You can find out more about her and what she's offering at thepowerofemotions.ca, thepowerofemotions.ca. Go check it out. Not only will you find out more about her services, but you're going to read her blog. She's really, really great with words. That's her thing. And check out her meetup. Check her out on our meetup page. And check out Samantha Barley at samanthabarley.com. And please tune in next week for another exciting episode of The Appreciationist. You can find all of those episodes at theappreciation.com. Take care, Luke.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody there for watching. Just going to recap the sources for the ideas that you can find that was stumble upon. Definitely check out YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. So if you go to thelawattraction.ca, click on YouTube, you can find us there. Check out tech conferences like TechCrunch Disrupt. They're very interesting. TV shows like Black Mirror, that's on Netflix. You can watch that now. Season 3 just came out, so I hear it's really good. Through the Wormhole with Morgan Freeman. Listen to podcasts. We're going to have ours out soon, so please stay tuned. And thank you again so much. It's November 2nd, and our patrons were just charged. So thank you so much for the contributions that you've given to us. It really helps what we do. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.